Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective. And before I get running off too far, just need somebody to give me a good audio check. Make sure I'm coming across 5 by 5 and everybody can hear me okay. Make sure of that. Um, I got a few people already here in the chat. Good to see all of you. Uh, Cultured Annabis. That's a new name. I've got a lot of new people. 5 by 5, California Critic. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Well, let me recognize some folks that are spending their precious time with me. We got Rational Wrong Think. Good day, mate. How you going? Sandra McGibbon, uh, Darlene Dieter or Detter. I'm not sure which one it is. Long E or Soft E. History Bees here. DM, and I know I saw the Conservative Patriot jumped in here to say hello, and I believe, oh, Prophet, can't forget him. He's definitely here. That's my international connection. And Kindred Anibus, I'm not familiar with that name, but welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Margot, good to see you. CLC, I knew you'd be here. Good to see you. Darla Tidwell, James Torlin. Good to see you guys. All right, got an interesting show. I got some headlines to pull up. I've got some information about some of the military ops that are going on right now. Rebel Jack jumped in here. Good to see you. Um, Before I get off into those headlines and things, I wanted to make mention of a program that I've been trying to get off the ground here called Patriot Swarm. It's become a part of the Army that the left fears the most. We all need to come together and help every channel out there reach their 1,000 goal and hopefully closer to 1,500 so that the games can't be done with the creators to make their channels restricted. Cornbread, good to see you. The idea with this is we create a swarm of patriots that when we address a channel, then all those patriots would swarm that channel and subscribe to that creator with the idea of bringing them up with some kind of speed. It's sort of been off the ground now for about 3 days, and it's already trending in several sites that I have not normally associated with, and this is a movement it's creating. Door kicker, welcome. Yeah, everybody needs a good door kicker. But anyway, so you guys become part of the swarm. You know, if we put up a Patriot Swarm alert, go over there and subscribe to that channel and help them grow, because we can all do this together, and it takes a movement. It takes a swarm of locusts. Ken Web, what is that? Ken Weberg or Weberg, welcome. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers. I know there's a lot of new faces and names in here, and I appreciate every single one of you coming over and giving me a shot. I try to keep the information coming. I try to keep it a little entertaining, because sitting there staring at a face like this without something to laugh at other than the face can sometimes get a little bit monotonous, so I try to break it up a little bit. Anyway, so just make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends about me. Like button right now, especially because that helps to get the channel promoted, let them know that I'm live and that I'm over here bugging everybody. That way more people can come over and be bugged at the same time. But with all that being said, I want to crank it up like I always do with the news releases on intergovernmental affairs. There's been a few things that have happened. Also, I do need to mention that Belinda obviously will not be joining me tonight. She is off with family doing a vacation thing. I've heard of vacation once. I think somebody told me about it years ago, but haven't seen too much of that. But anyway, she'll be back next week for sure. Very possibly Tuesday night, if we can get some decent weather. I've missed that show for 2 weeks now because of weather. I am a victim of the clouds and the environment being on satellite. Thomas Laue, good to see you. Anyway, so let's get the headlines going here. This one was on the 21st, and it says VA announces new process for responding to Privacy Act requests. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs (VA) implemented a new process October 1st for responding to Privacy Act requests from claimants received by the Veterans Benefits Administration for access to their claims files. So that's not a bad thing, because they need to have some regulation on this, because as veterans, our Fourth Amendment gets pretty much kicked right out the window. If somebody says, well, I need that from such and such veteran, they get it, and there's no warrant or nothing. So just because we serve the military and now we're veterans doesn't mean we're not entitled to the same protections under the Constitution, but they seem to forget that sometimes. So next one here says VA DOD to fund $1 billion in new research and traumatic brain. So that's a good thing. It says this is Washington, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs (VA) and the Department of launched the long-term impact of military-related brain injury consortium LIMBIC October 1st, for which the two organizations pledged to fund up to $50 million to research mild traumatic brain injuries (TBIs) and out. I guess what's going on with the noodle when it gets gyrated in your head after a concussion explosion somewhere, because that does happen. You don't have to be hitting head; just have an explosive go off and be close enough for that thing to vibrate you, and all of your guts get shaken back and forth. I promise you. So the brain gets beat around in the head, and they need to figure out how to protect from some of that. Let's see. You two recognize me so people cannot actually find me. Yeah, DM. I've give it a couple of days, because it takes a little while for YouTube to catch up with changes. If we go to search your name in a couple of days and we still don't see you somewhere close to the top, then we can have that, heart-to-heart discussion about the other name change. Like DM's BS. I think that was awesome, and all of you filthy-minded individuals think that means something else. All it means is DM's basic chat, but it would be what did I say earlier? Look at that. I can't even think of it. DM's being social. See, kind of ruin the whole joke when it doesn't flow out. You just go, ah. Then the audience throws tomatoes. Fortunately, you guys can't reach me from here. Miss Mary, good to see you. Ruth Brown, welcome. And Patriot Nana, that's cool. I am known as a poppy to my grandkids. All right. Now, the next one here says VA Secretary recognizes winner and finalists of the Undersecretary for Health Robert L. Jesse Award for Excellence in Innovation. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs presented the inaugural Undersecretary for Health Robert L. Jesse Award for Excellence in Innovation to Dr. Thomas Osborne. Dr. Thomas Osborne, Director of the VA National Center for Collaborative Healthcare Innovation, and the Chief Medical Informatics Officer at VA Palo Alto Healthcare Center at the Veterans Health Administration Innovation Experience, October 23rd, and the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. That was a mouthful. So somebody else getting recognized for their decent work. Let's see. VA realigns police operations to promote oversight and staff. The U.S. Department of Veterans plans recently to realign the structure of its police force. I am going to open that one because that interests me a little bit. Philip Turner, good to see you. I like those jams, man. All right, now it opened. Says the move follows several months of comprehensive analysis of the department's law enforcement procedures and serves as a critical step forward in implementing the recommendations made by the Office of Inspector General and the Government Accountability Office. The realignment will be the most extensive since the creation of the police force and will fundamentally change standardization across the enterprise, said VA Secretary Robert Wilkie. The highlights may the highlights my this highlights my commitment, the high standards and transparency across the department. Um, it's got a list of changes here, but I just wanted to say that unfortunately, when they have the police at the VA medical centers, it's usually not to protect the veterans. It's to protect the people inside from the veterans because they're afraid of us. We're the big bad boogie monsters, and so the police watch the veterans that are coming into the clinic more than they watch the people that screw the veterans on a regular basis. Duke Raw, good to see you. Let's see. It says the changes will include implementing a police national governance body that will incorporate all departments, stakeholders to effectively manage and oversee policy issues. Bureaucracy. I could have said that one and saved a whole bunch of words. Creating a police modernization office especially charged to develop and implement uniform standards and address staffing challenges. Dividing the VA police force into 4 multi-stations under the head of the regional law enforcement director and regional director as the gateway officer, providing strategic direction from the VA Office of Operations Security and Preparedness to the Field Operation Office. This is my cat. Say hello, cat. When I'm getting ready to go live or when I'm messing on my computer, usually he comes over and he sits on the mouse. Apparently he thinks when you're messing with the mouse, it's supposed to go in the other end. I don't know. He's never been a good mouser, but he wants to make sure that he's the center of attention and that all other things in the world stop during that period of time. Anyway, so rule number 4, placing a police chief in each of the 18 veterans integrated service networks who will be under the oversight of the Office of Operations, Security of Preparedness, and will provide direct guidance of law enforcement operations. And the says the district and regional law enforcement directors will be placed in the field for greater ability and oversight of the police. These changes will reaffirm the safety and security are paramount to the department. VA will continually implement solutions that ensure a safe environment for veterans, staff, and visitors. They are just worried about the veterans. Yeah, getting some ear scratching. Anyway, that is that one. So had a couple more to go over, but the police issue of the you got to stop. Thank you. The police issue is bothering me because like I said, the police are. I don't have a problem with police officers. I never have. I'm fully supportive of the men in blue, but they do a lot of things that are questionable, and one of them is declaring the veteran the most dangerous thing walking on 2 legs in this country, and everything that's done in this country is designed to put the veteran in that light and then create a fear and a hysteria that we're going to come out and we're just going to be guns blazing every time you see us on the street. And that is a creation of the anti-war we are nothing but baby killers people, and it's a bunch of crap, really. So that's the problem I have with it. Okay, next one here. It says the VA expands military spouse employment partnership program. So that's a good thing. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs announced today it's expanding employment opportunities for military spouses department-wide as part of the formal induction into the Department of Defense. So the VA is going to fall under the Department of Defense completely now pretty soon. They're working on that integration. Military Spouse Employment Partnership Program. So the reason that's a good thing is, for example, where I live, and it's 6 months, and you come down here, you go into your training program, and then in 6 months you go to your regular duty station. And if you go to, for example, try to find a job, and they say, what is your employment history? And if you look like you've got an employment history where you've been in job after job after job while your husband's going through training, your wife, whichever, and you've been moved from base to base to base, then all of a sudden you have a really spotty employment record. Whereas if you're hired by DOD, the Department of Defense, like in schools, or in this case the VA now, they have the understanding that you're going to be there today, gone tomorrow, and they don't penalize you for that kind of work ethic. I mean, they don't rate you based on your in and out of jobs every 6 to 8 months. So that's a good thing. Let me jump over here and just see if I got any questions or anything. I know when I get reading these articles, it's a little hard to keep up with the chat at the same time. But one thing I do go back and I proof watch my videos to make sure there isn't any major screw ups in case I have to do some change and make an edit of some kind or whatever later. So I always proof watch, and then I read all of my comments at that time too. Yeah, make sure you guys are putting up your links, checking out everybody. DM is good about that. She's going to get you all the links you need. It's important that we work on this swarm. It's a patriot swarm, and we need to act like it, get together and get everybody grown up. You can't promote people that are not in the chat. Yeah, if they're not there, it's kind of hard. Anyhow, yeah, I think History V was talking about the cat liking his ears scrubbed. This cat, I don't know, he's got a fat pack on his belly. He'd rather have me massage, but this cat is 19, probably actually close to 20. So not bad for a 20-year-old. I just lost my pup of 17 years yesterday, some of you may know, and that made for a miserable day. Today kind of sucks too. Been unusually quiet in the house, but I had a little bit of time to get ready for it because he was not doing real well. His age was catching up with him. He was slowing down, and all the signs were there that he was going to be checking out. So still sucks, but it was time to get ready anyway. There's some headlines in let's see, military and veterans news. It's a couple of things. Last week I touched base on the fact that the VA is processing more appeals decisions thanks to a new system. So decisions are coming down. It took me 17 and a half years of fighting the VA to get my disability rating, and looks like that's going to be coming to an end. That's positive. So, like I've said before, this isn't a channel that's designed to completely destroy my intent, but it's to bring the things that are positive in, and also bring the things that are negative, because you can't fix something wrong with it. And if there's exposure, then people will rise up and say this needs to change. Is Army's quest inside the Army's quest for revolutionary new bullets. They got these smart rounds that are interesting. You can set a target on a screen and fire the weapon, and the bullets will crawl around and search out that weapon or search out that target. Says inside the Army's quest for a revolutionary new bullet. The Army weapons officials near the end of the bold effort to arm close combat units with next generation squad weapons. I touched on this last week about the new bringing forward new small arms. New details have emerged about the program's elusive 6.8 millimeter ammo designed to pierce enemy body armor. So, yeah, why do we have body armor? It doesn't make any sense. It's an extra 45 pounds that you've got hanging on you all day long, and everything that's designed is designed to go through it. So if you're going to have that hindering you just to be shot anyway, then why the hell do we do it? You made it half the time. Took me 33 years. Wow, 33 years. I am sorry to hear that, but that's why it's pathetic. But things are getting better slowly, but they're getting better. I actually, my email is 17 reasons sales, because it took me 17 and a half years of fighting the VA to get settled, and then I wanted to buy a big sailboat with my, then ended up buying the lost the sailboat because of politics in Turkey, so it kind of sucked. But let's see, the Army's long-standing effort to develop this revolutionary round capable of taking on a sophisticated peer enemy in a battlefield has required gun makers to challenge design assumptions and innovate. Now that plans develop the field the bullet are taking shape, it remains to be seen whether it will live up to the promise to transform the fight for infantrymen. So this isn't the smart round technology. These are piercers. They're going to go through tactical gear. And like I say, if you're not protected by the tactical gear, then it's a little bit ridiculous to keep wearing it. Just relieve yourself of that extra 45 pounds and carry the hell on, as they would say. Air Force makes a move to buy a limited number of light attack aircraft. So, yeah, Air Force, they like to fly. Let's see. One of the headlines here is it's going to transition me into my next subject. Actually, I'll skip that because I want to shout afterwards with my final subject. How to run in the military. Set off a couple of claymores behind somebody and gets them taught up how to run. B-1 bombers that have Arabia. This one has me questioning what's going on a little bit. And as soon as I can get this ad out of my face, we'll look at it. Where did it go? There we are. We found you. All right. The B-1B Lancer bombers landed at an airbase in Saudi Arabia this week, marking a surprise of the long-range bombers to the Middle East after they were pulled early this year. What is going on? Everybody wants to know. A series of videos from U.S. Air Force Central Command and Air Force schools posted on social media Friday showed the bombers take off from Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota, home of the 28th Bomb Wing, and landed in Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. The service did not disclose how many of the bomber were said. Duration of the aircraft's deployment. Additional details were not provided by press at this time. Okay. The service did not disclose how on nuclear bombers. They don't run on nuclear energy like the aircraft carriers. They are capable of carrying nuclear bombs. So what they're saying is they were not carrying a nuclear armament when they went to Saudi Arabia, but they have to speak it in a language to keep everybody questioning. These are nuclear-powered aircraft. That's amazing. All right, early this month, the Defense Department signed off on a plan to send more troops to act as a force stabilizer in response to Iran's antagonistic actions in the Middle East. U.S. forces deployed with 2 fighter squadrons, an air expeditionary wing, Patriot missile batteries, and 1 terminal high-altitude aerial defense THAAD. This looks like, yeah, we're going to create a deterrent. It sounds like we're going to be creating freedom in somebody else's country, usually against their will. But that kind of buildup makes me wonder. Something's going on over there in the Middle East. I got to keep my nose in the sand and see what I can sniff out. There's a couple of lighthearted stories that I wanted to get to. Well, this isn't it. The training accident that happened last week that killed 3 service members when their track vehicle rolled over. That's being investigated now. When you're out there in training, I've said it before, it's as real as it gets. The only thing missing is, and my injury came from a training accident. So it can be as dangerous in a training as it can be out there in the combat zone. The only difference is you're not dealing with the bullets whizzing by your head. So it does kind of suck. NS, welcome, and Bee Stinger. Everybody duck. Bees in the house. The other bee. Ashley, good to see you. I might have missed some names by now that we're up there. JC, welcome. Try to recognize you folks because you guys come out here. Hang in Arizona. Good to see you. Slate Rock. It's humbling because you guys come out and you spend time with me when you could be doing anything else on the planet that you want to do. So express my gratitude, and I want to recognize the fact that you're here with me. Obviously, as time goes by and the chat starts moving at 100 miles an hour, ultimately, then it will be harder to do, but I'll just have to do a group hand wave at that point as the names go whizzing up to the top of the screen. All right, so where is my situation here? All right, this is not good news. I was hoping I got to break this up. I can't give you guys all the bad news all the time. There's something that I found earlier, and it's going to elude me, I think. But if I could remember it verbatim, the killer has gone poof. A gentleman, Marine, that was serving as a original guards to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, finally gets recognition and gets an award for his service as he turns 100 years old. So that was it. I just don't see it. All right, the fourth USS Indianapolis is done in northern Indiana port, so there is now another ship named the Indianapolis that's on the seas. When one is decommissioned, they can bring up another one under the same christening, so that works out. Number 4. North Korea says it's running out of patience with the U.S. Well, be patient. We'll get to okay, here's one. Navy leader denies the services, blaming shipbuilder for the carrier Ford's many. Ladies and gentlemen, the carrier Ford is a refit. The stuff that's going into the said carrier is extremely classified, not used in prior applications. So there's going to be problems if you're put for the very first time. Going to be issues. So they'll get them hammered out. The Ford will come out. It's fine, and everybody will be happy. Your 12-year-old retriever several months ago. Yeah, it just sucks. It really does. Today I was having a really, and I've got my 100-pound beast has been spending a lot of time with me. And if you've ever seen a 100-pound dog, ears and a curling slip or lip, that would be him when that happened. It's actually pretty amazing to see him cry out loud. It was a little devastating. It's kind of funny though. You got a dog that weighs almost 100 pounds, and his best buddy weighs about 14 pounds. So anyway, we're taking care of each other. It's cool. All right, this is a subject that's near and dear to my heart, and it's an unfortunate issue. It's hit close to home. Many of you already know that. Veteran suicide. Veteran suicides increase despite a host of prevention mental health efforts. Unacceptable. I am so disgusted by this. As a veteran, and talking to other veterans, it's up to us. We got to reach out, because if we leave it for the VA to do, then you're talking about a government program, and it will not kick in for a long time. It says veteran suicides rose in 2017 despite concerted effort in recent years from federal officials and lawmakers to address the mental health. And again, this is a study that was done from 14 to 17, which showed a steady increase. Unfortunately, from 17 to 19, it has also shown an increase. They just haven't released those numbers officially yet. Veterans Affairs initials noted a new analysis that because of the data delay government program, their report does not take into effect any new initiatives put in place over the last 22 months. They also emphasized in the report prevention has become a more public health problem throughout the country in the veterans community. Yeah, people are dying on the streets from heroin and all kinds. They classify those as suicides or needling themselves to death. So let's see, but the increase in the number of veterans who die by suicide represents another setback for advocates who have worked in recent years to address the problem through public awareness campaigns, easier access to psychological treatment, and against the stigma of seeking mental health care. All right, then to seek mental health care as veterans, then stop the threat of taking the guns. They're never going to get both. You're not going to get the veterans that will come in for help when you first thing to take away their Second Amendment right. In the VA, you already lose your Fourth Amendment right. Hand out your information from your of a hat. So you have no fourth. You can't be protected from illegal search of your present. With that, changes. But they want people to stop resisting mental health, and they need to stop threatening to take their damn guns. So I made it pretty clear in my understanding, PT, that there's a very of the people that commit suicide that else, because veterans understand weaponry. They know their guns. They also know the damage they can do, and they don't want to leave that as their last impression to their loved ones. So to constantly threaten to take their guns is ridiculous. You have to go to my building for some Tiffany candle holders. I could see the necessity in that. You gonna make a video on those? Yeah, I hope so. I'd like to see those. You might end up accidentally getting rid of those when I see them, so just let me know. More than 6,100 veterans died by suicide in 2017, about 17 individuals per day. Yeah, that's up about 2% from 2016, about 6% over the previous 12 years. Truly unacceptable. You've got to reach out. Um, I saw somebody has way better patriotic shirts than me. Sorry. This isn't my fault. This is my mother's fault. She found these up north at a grocery store. Uh, it's very hard to find patriotic shirts in this country, which is pretty pathetic. Somebody needs to open up a patriot shirt shop. Stony Stone, good to see you, brother. Welcome, man. Welcome to the house of the veterans. Um, anyway, so I don't want to keep harping on this article with the suicide, but please, if you know some veterans around you, just check on them once in a while. We got holidays coming up. Um, if you know of a veteran that lives on the streets, and drag their ass to your house and give them some turkey. Do something. Bring them home, give them a bath, do whatever you got to do. Give them some turkey. Talk about what's going on in their lives. Get to know these people. If you have neighbors that are veterans, reach out to them, because you'd be amazed if you start communicating with somebody who's down and having, if they're starting to have psychological issues, they're starting to have, just communicating with them can break that chain, and it can create an avenue for them to reach out. Too many people ignore too many other people in this country, and that's part of this patriot swarm thing. We've got to learn to start sticking together. We've got to learn to start looking out for each other, because if we don't, humanity fails. And right now, everybody around the world is rising up to their tyrannical governments, and we have a chance to change the planet. So you've got to make contact with people. You've got to make it an effort to creating bonds with one another. As humans, we're all we've got. But anyway, so you guys know where I stand on the suicide thing. As always, under all of my Inside Veterans Affairs, all of the emergency numbers are there. My email's there. Belinda's email's there. If you can't reach out to anybody else, then you reach out to me. I can't realistically put my phone number up here, because if a troll got a hold of it, then there would be nothing but stupid ringtones coming through all the time, and that's pretty unfortunate. But if you reach out to me on my email, I promise to drop you my phone number, and if you can't talk to anybody else, you can talk to me. I've been there, done that. I know what's going on. I know how to deal with the VA. I know about going through the things in your mind all the time. So it's hard to tell the real vets from people with with signs saying they are vets. I understand that. I know that's as much stolen valor as somebody wearing ribbons or medals or whatever that they didn't earn, and that disgusts me. Just like Blumenthal, that's in our Senate, he should be expelled just for that. I have no respect for people that steal the valor of people who really gave a damn. That's one thing that truly disgusts me. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Ashley. That is my email address. If nobody else will listen, I will, and I will make sure that I get back to you. Yes, Darla, sometimes they are too proud, but sometimes you have to be a little persistent, because there is a lot of pride. There's a lot of chest beating. I'm a military veteran. I'm not afraid of any. But then they have dark places in their mind that they keep venturing to, and it's important to get them out of there. That's why I was saying a while back when I was doing my Understanding PTSD video, I was saying that sometimes if you just have somebody that will sweep you up and take you out, if you sit alone in a house, sometimes maybe your mind starts to wander to the dark places, and if there's nobody there, get you out of there and change your train of thought, then you can go pretty deep. That's why I've been trying to get a program off the ground that would allow, when somebody calls that first that psychological help hotline, if instead of it going to a message service, it would immediately ring a local veteran in their area that was signed up in the program, and that veteran could go and scoop them out of their house, take them somewhere, and get them out of the environment that's making them think, making them go somewhere dark, and get them out of there. And you can save somebody's life that way. Um, Here's a good announcement, though. It says free meals and more on Veterans Day. So remember, on November 11th, there's a lot of restaurants that will give veterans free meals. And you got to, as a veteran, sometimes suck up the pride and take the free gift, because you earned it. And, there's no shame at all in taking some gratitude for what you've done. If they're willing to give you something for doing it, you should accept it and say thank you. Oh, you look here what I just found. I had my articles all screwed up, and there's that ad again, so we won't do that one. I found my World War II veteran. I wanted to read this one because I like good news too once in a while. Where are we at on time? We got 20 minutes, so we're still good. It says World War II veteran and former Tomb of Unknown Soldier Guard, now 100, finally gets his tribute. Tribune News Services, a 100-year-old World War II veteran, finally got to scratch a much-deserved, long-awaited bullet point from his bucket list. Jack Eaton, the oldest living sentinel of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, arrived in Detroit Metropolitan Airport Wednesday afternoon after spending the morning in Arlington, Virginia, where he saw for the first time the recently erected plaque in his guardians of the monument from January 1938 to December 1939. That it happened, Eaton said, "This is a thing I've been wanting." The former U.S. Army sergeant and current Burton, Michigan resident was met at Lions Gate D28 by dozens of cheering, clapping, saluting veterans, public servants, and other supporters, all while America the Beautiful played. I appreciate everything you people are doing here, Eaton said. I just can't believe this is happening. I don't think I did that much. That's what a lot of them say. Anyway, it says, I was just doing what I was supposed to do, and a lot of them say that too. I've kind of talked to some other veterans about this, because everybody kind of gets a little shocked when somebody says thank you for your service, because nobody really knows how to respond to it, because the reality is we're doing our job. Yeah, but we're still doing our job. We don't require thanks for something that in our heart we feel like we should do anyway, and that's to stand up for the Constitution. My best response that get the thank you for your services, when you look at them, you say, I'm just glad I was able to do my small part, because that's a small part of a great big operation. So that helps. So it gives you an answer to that without being set back doing my job, response anyway. In 2017, Eaton toured the back barracks of the guards of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, where plaque of every guarded the tomb. So anyway, that's just a really cool feel good, not feel girls, that would be illegal. Feel good story, and I like those because there's so much negativity. Anyway, so yeah, everybody can be part of the Patriot Swarm. That's the point. Everybody needs to be in the Patriot Swarm. When we mention a channel and we say go get them, it's to get them up. So everybody needs to be in. If if you're a content creator and you see a Patriot Swarm alert, you're welcome to do a 2-minute video. Say, look, we got a Patriot Swarm alert. Go over here and hit that channel, and then wait for the next one. Humility doesn't come easy. Remember, before you did that job, you made a choice to sacrifice your life for others. That's why veterans deserve to be honored. I agree with that California critic, but it is in a lot of cases it's a little shocking when somebody says thank you for your service, because the first thing you want to do is, oh shucks, aren't nothing. But you don't want to be disrespectful by just saying, yeah, it's just my job. But it gives an answer, it gives an out. You just say, I'm just glad I was able to do my small part, and thanks for recognizing that, or whatever. But there are ways to do it. It's just most veterans, we don't do things in our lives for recognition or for help or any of that. So that's why it's hard as a veteran to ask for help. It's also hard to accept gratitude when you feel like you're just doing what you should be doing. Six Stringer, good to see you. And Linda Bergman, I think I saw you further up there. Melvin Campbell, good to see you. I definitely have some new faces in here, and I'm grateful for that. Enjoy having all of you here. Anyway, so we got, what are we at? We got 46. May end up finishing up a little bit early today, but all right, Ashley, you got to get going. Yeah, we didn't want you to stay anymore. Anyway, how about that? I'm just kidding. I'm just so depressed that you're leaving, but you have a great day, a great evening, and enjoy yourself. And we'll be here for a few more minutes. And we'll all just miss you terribly, but you go on and do what you have to do. Don't have any guilt. I don't want you to feel bad at all. Maybe a little bit, but not much anyway. All right. Story of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, the piece of garbage is a CIA asset, the leader of the 44 regime separatist group ISIS is dead. Yes, folks, dead. Went off whimpering, crying, and begging for mercy, and blew himself up along with 3 of his children and 2 of his wives. These are the people that are telling us they're going to burn the world down. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. I will say the name because I want all of the ISIS people to know that your leader, and I'm not going to say this often, but in this case you're getting it, died like a little bitch. So forgive my French, but that's all I got to say about him. We went in. A helicopter-borne U.S. Special Operations Forces conducted a daring nighttime raid Saturday to fight their way into a compound and tunnel complex in northwest Syria that resulted in the death of long-hunted ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. President Trump on Sunday. Baghdadi, the self-declared ISIS caliphate creator, killed himself and 3 children by detonating a suicide vest as he fled down a tunnel with U.S. troops in pursuit, Trump said at a White House briefing. He ran into a dead-end tunnel, whimpering, crying, and screaming all the way, said Trump, who watched the operation unfold with Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley. I love General Milley, and I could explain that later, but I won't, I'll let it go. And others in the White House Situation Room Saturday night. I got to watch much of it. He died like a dog. Yes, he did, folks. Like a coward. He died like a coward, the president said. There were no U.S. casualties in the raid, which Trump said killed many of Baghdadi's guards, but This is a soldier, though, but a U.S. K-9 was injured in the collapse of the tunnel and was brought back by American troops who flew safely out of the contested region, he added. So when they say no soldiers were harmed, well, damn it, the K-9 buddies of ours over there, they're soldiers too. Um, Through biometric and DNA, troops at the scene confirmed the identity of Baghdadi. Trump said without a doubt it was him. Trump did not specify which units participated in the raid because it's nobody's business, other than to say that 8 helicopters were involved and all services contributed. It was a flight of about an hour and 10 minutes over dangerous territory controlled by various factors. The raid reportedly involved between 50 to 70 troops, including members of the Special Forces Operation Detachment, better known as the Delta Force. Army, y'all. Sorry. Just got to butter my own bread sometimes. From the Operations Command of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fox News. The operation reportedly originated from Kurdish region of Iraq. The troops had to cover about 475 miles to reach the target area by flying with low and substantial fixed wing. That's kind of weird. Flying low with substantial fixed wing U.S. air cover and escorts, Trump said. Okay, so yeah, they were flying with a gunner team. Success also required cooperation with Russia, Turkey, Iraq, and Kurdish-led Syrian democracies. Yeah, because he had to let them know we're flying over. If you screw with us, you're going to be next. Russia treated us great, Trump said. They gave us some information that turned out to be helpful. He added that Russian officials were told U.S. operations would be under Western Syria, and they voiced no objection. Yeah, don't let the Democrats keep you guys fooled by the Russia thing. It may surprise the hell out of you guys, but you may find out that we have a lot more in common with Russia than the cabal. And when the Russians collaborate to take down the cabal, it's going to people. Without confirming the raid or Baghdadi's death, Trump denied that a transformative event in the long U.S. campaign to inflict on the Islamic State group had occurred. Something very big. He put it out last night, all night, going, "What the hell was it?" So it was relieving today. Anyway, it says the nighttime raid posed enormous risk and difficulty of execution for the special who had to cross into a conflict of Syria's Idlib province, where radicals and opposition have been holding out against the forces of President Bashar al-Assad and Russian airstrikes. The reported by Newsweek also highlighted the dogged work of the CIA, likely the Special Activities Center, in providing the intelligence on the CIA. Baghdadi's location in what could be considered an improbable hideout in territory where militant groups opposed to ISIS hold sway. Anyway, so it's a lot more to that article, but one thing I wanted to highlight was the fact that some reporter yelled out like they do, like cackling hyenas, and said, "Well, did you inform Nancy Pelosi of what you were going to do?" And it's like, no, because they leak like a sieve. And why would you put yourself in a position where all they have to do in their devious, conniving way is say, "Oh, they're coming for you," and protect their drug trade? Oh, did I say drug trade? Oh, sorry. Well, just been released that that's why everybody's having such a conniption fit about Syria. because they're losing one of their massive drug corridors. Yes, folks, I said it. They're losing a drug corridor. And the C underscore A, if you see YouTube plays their silly games, is behind all of this crap. And they have been since 1961, but other videos explain that. Uh, Philadelphia scientist, UFO builder. Hey, man, I haven't seen a video in a little while. Maybe I'm not getting notifications. So I'm going to have to look for you and see what's going on. Hopefully you're getting somewhere on that drone because, I want to come up there and try it out. I can be your crash test dummy. Let's see. Would you say history be? The more liberals rant about this, the more votes they give to Trump. I believe that. Yeah, it's important. Let them do their thing. But anyway, I wanted to put the climax on the show with the good news. We finally have a president that, if you screw with the American people, if you and try to intimidate our civilization, our existence, if you threaten us, we're going to come over there. We're going to zombie stomp your ass. We're going to clean up the mess with a mop or a sponge, and then we're going to come home and have a beer. That's the way it should be. We don't need to go and sit in a country for 20 damn years to protect a drug trade. So President Trump does need to get hot on that. He needs to cut this crap out with the CIA. It's all the evidence is there, even in their Release of Information Act FOIA documents. You can get it. So I'm not just blowing smoke. You can look at it yourself. They've been doing this since 1961. So put a stop to them. You put a stop to a lot of this criminality throughout the world. Anyway, so Dangerous Freedom, good to see you, man. If I didn't give you a specific hand wave or a personal hand wave while you've been joining me in the chat, just know that I am waving my hand in general to all of you because I love you all. I appreciate you being here. Anyway, I want to thank my mods. You guys rock. You keep the joint coming together. Yeah, Trump 2020, we will mop your ass and the rest of the parts of you that fall off on the way by. Yeah, Art of War. All right, so that was the good news. Thank you to my mods. Thank you to everybody else. Make sure you subscribe to the other creators. Watch for the Patriot Swarm Alert. We're going to be out here making noise, getting channels built up. Don't forget, we still got a Swarm Alert going on for DM Damad, as she changed her name to. She's not there yet. She's getting there, but you guys got to make an effort. You got to get it done. I had over 300 views. She should have had 300 subs. So that's how that's supposed to work. The Patriot Swarm needs to be 100%, not the typical 8%. And we're way above that now, but we still need to do better. Keep on swarming DM. Let's do this thing, and then we'll get on the next one. Anyway, so with that being said, thank you all for coming. Watch for me on Tuesday night, weather permitting. Me and Belinda will be on here for real weird, real funny, real news. We will see you all then. D.A. Archer, you got in here just in time. Or unless you've already been here and I missed you earlier. Send her to me. All right, DM, go to Stony Stone. There, she's been sent to you. Yeah, I'll get you the link. But anyway, with that being said, y'all, stay in the fight.